back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Press Play Podcast. I'm Matt Dasher.
I'm pissed.
I'm sad.
And we have a special guest today. Sir, introduce yourself.
I'm Kainan Becker from Ghost Pirate Entertainment.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry.
This is Ian's episode, so I'll give it to him now.
Yeah, I'm Ian. I just said I was pissed because Dasher just made a your mom joke literally right before the episode started. So that one was still burned fresh in my mind. So Kainan asked you here because what you do on Ghost Pirate Entertainment is you kind of do what we do, but in a more specific genre, is you review horror movies.
Recommend and review. Yep, every single week. A couple times a week.
There is a very special movie coming up next month called Halloween Kills. I don't know if you're excited, but we sure as hell are. And just recently, Seth had seen Halloween 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Only Halloween 1 and 2.
Right.
We reviewed it. And then I think immediately after the episode, he went and watched the 2018 version. Loved it. And there's one particular film that gets completely glossed over that no one really talks about except when you're kind of like in a one-on-one type situation, like, oh man, Season of the Witch. That's what we're talking about today.
Hey, Charlie, can we have another station? Come on.
What's the matter? Don't you have any Halloween spirit?
The black sheep of the Halloween franchise.
The movie that should have no association with the franchise whatsoever, but it does, so we have to include it. But if it were a standalone film entitled just Season of the Witch, it would go down as one of the better horror movies that I think I've ever watched in my entire life because it's a damn fine film.
Yeah,
totally.
That's the Halloween Association.
Name only.
It hurts the film, but also I feel like it helps the film in other aspects. Like it would probably be one of the more unknown Halloween movies or horror movies that came out. But because you had Halloween attached to it, more people were excited. Yes, they were let down and pissed off, but it let the people know that, hey, this movie is actually pretty good. Whatever, a lot more people have seen it if it didn't have Halloween attached to it. I don't think so.
I do, because of the way horror community works. When they grab a hold of something, they never let go, and so it just builds momentum more and more and more. The problem with it is because of the name Halloween attached to it, immediately it got hate, and so it never got that initial traction. And so it's taken like 30 years for it to finally be like, now it's starting to become a staple of Halloween and thought of as its own entity. You know, you see a lot of merchandising for it now, just like you do Trick or Treat. But I feel like it took a lot longer. I think in the long run, it's not going to make a difference. You know what I mean? It's going to be a loved movie, or it is a loved movie. So no matter, either way, but I just feel like that slowed its progress down because of the way the horror community works.
I agree 100%. And I don't think I've ever heard one legitimate explanation from the creators of the movie or anybody involved in the franchise on why it was associated with the film series Halloween, why the name was attached to it.
Were they trying to make it like an anthology?
That's exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, I can tell you the whole story. It's actually on the special edition Blu-ray that was dropped a couple years ago. I have it somewhere around here, but
I actually own it, but I haven't watched the special features yet.
Yeah, was it Tommy Lee Wallace, the director?
Yeah.
He talks about it, and John Carpenter's talked about it. Debra Hill has talked about it. The idea was they felt they had done everything that could be done with the Michael Myers story. They actually never even wanted to make Halloween 2.
John Carpenter hated Halloween 2.
Yeah, he actually jokes and talks about it, how he was drunk the entire time of writing that film because he just didn't want to do Halloween 2. The whole entire crew felt that they had done everything there was to do with Halloween in the first movie. But they reluctantly came back for Halloween 2, but a lot of the deal was, the agreement, so to speak, was if they came back and did a Halloween 2, then they would be given the budget to make a Halloween movie that they could, whatever they wanted kind of thing. So after they finished Halloween 2, they started writing and working on Halloween 3. But the idea was going to be every year there would be a different Halloween themed movie. They would all be called Halloween, but every year it would be a different theme. So like a different set of characters, and they eventually would tie those movies to each other in some way. Like in Halloween 3, you do see Michael Myers on TV at one.
On the TV in the background,
scene.
right?
And then Jamie Lee Curtis is the voice of the announcer when they're like, when they're in the little town, and it's like the everybody go home kind of thing. That's actually
Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis's voice. The whole crew, basically, of Halloween, the OG, and then the second one, are all involved in Halloween 3. A lot of them have different jobs and roles, but they're all still involved. So it was just going to be this thing, and every year. And then I've even heard that the movie The Fog was actually another one that was going to be part of this Halloween anthology thing. That every year they'd come up with a different movie. And then they had to do The Fog had to be done. They had to go a different route to get money for it and this and that because of how poorly Halloween 3 did.
Right. And speaking to what you just said a second ago about how nobody really wanted to do Halloween 2, I think myself, Ian, and Seth all collectively agreed when we covered Halloween 1 and 2 past Halloween is, personally, I felt Halloween 2 was the better of the two films.
It's a great movie.
It's my favorite of the series. Halloween 2 is my favorite movie of the series.
But it was very clear for one very specific reason that they did not want to do Halloween 2, because if this movie is successful, I don't want to do a 3. So they fucking killed him.
Yep.
They killed Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
They killed Michael Myers. Like in Halloween 1, it is a little bit more acceptable that he's still alive, but we saw him die.
Gone.
We saw him die. He is done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because in the original Halloween, he does look out the window and Michael's gone. So that did leave it open-ended for another, which is another reason why I think it's kind of ridiculous that John Carpenter and Debra Hill are like, oh, we don't want to make a second one. It's like, well, then why did you leave the first one open-ended like that?
I don't know.
That would have also been, for the time, that would have also been genuine fucking brilliance to leave it open like that and just never touch it again.
That's what the plan was. Because here's the thing. Back then, there weren't sequels.
No.
There just weren't. There's hardly any movies that had sequels. So doing Halloween 2 was just a weird thing because it wasn't something that was done very often.
Right.
And so that's, a part of it as well. But I don't know. When you boil it down to it, I just think that Halloween 3 has more love in it.
Sure.
I felt like they really, they were all really happy with the work they did when they did Halloween 3. And so that's another reason why I have so much respect and love for it, because I love Tommy Lee Wallace. I love Debra Hill. I love John Carpenter. Just everything those people were involved with, I've always been a big fan of.
And we have a tradition here on the show that if somebody has never seen a movie before, we give them the stage first. And we've kind of strayed away from that real quick right here. But Seth, I know for a fact that you've never seen Season of the Witch before, so I'm dying to hear your thoughts on it, sir.
All right, Season of the Witch. Boy, oh boy.
oh God.
Witchcraft in the computer age.
I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. This movie has head trauma.
Yeah.
It meanders along. It's silly as hell. The effects are laughably cheap, and I love every fucking second of it. It's hilarious to me. I love watching it. I laughed my ass off the whole time. I think biggest laugh whenever the one sales lady is in her room and she has the misfire.
Yeah.
And then the two are they're boning.
What was that?
Did you know?
He said, "Who cares?"
That's actually his real wife.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. What's his name? Why can't I remember his name? The lead actor.
Yeah, he's the dad from Lethal Weapon. The dad.
Yeah, but his real wife is the lady in the other room who gets her face blown off while he's screwing this young hottie. That's really his actual wife. I'm like, how weird would that have been? Sitting there, hey, honey, are you reading your lines? Like, in this scene, I'm going to be screwing this hot little girl over here while you're getting your face blown off. Like, that's just weird.
But
oh my goodness.
I mean, I'll agree that the effects aren't, you know, super duper expensive, but
Sure.
but
that's
when
also when
the-
it was made though too.
yeah,
Yeah,
but when
that's
the
fine.
No, it's definitely a product of its time. I give it passes for that.
when the
Yeah.
very first kid, you know, I think the one that you know was taken on the tour, and they put him in that little room, and he had the pumpkin mask on. I remember the first time I saw it, I freaked out a little bit because I think I was like maybe 14 when I saw it the first time. And the very first kid just goes. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! A, this movie doesn't fuck around, and B,
I know they kill
that
fucking
still
kids.
that still looks good.
Yeah.
I would say that effect looks great.
I honestly think this movie definitely has more impact if you see it when you're young.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Because like I saw it when I was pretty young too, like a young teenager. And just like
Same.
you said, that scene when the kid, you know, he's wearing the mask, and like I love masks, so straight away I fell in love with the mask in this movie. But just the idea of this kid puts on a mask like that we all love doing, you know, Halloween, put on this cool mask, and his head gets mushed with bugs and snakes, and it's so original and different. Like the way they kill it, and the whole story is unique.
I'll be the first to admit, the first time I watched this movie was probably 9th or 10th grade, somewhere around that area. And I went in with the expectation that this was going to be another installment of the Michael Myers story.
Yeah.
And after watching it, and I didn't get that, I hated the movie. But then as time goes on, as it probably has for a lot of other people that have watched and come to enjoy this film, I started appreciating it for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, I love this movie. I absolutely love it. It's a must watch for me every October. A must watch. That's
definitely a really common thing with a lot of people, I think. You know, it's just because it's so left field from the traditional slasher Michael Myers. It's like, and a lot of people, even to this day, they'll, you know, talk shit about it online because they'll watch it and be like, where's Michael? Screw this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen the other Michael Myers films though? They're not that good.
Man, I love every single one of them.
Me too.
Reasons.
Yeah.
Even Resurrection, which is a horrible movie, I still love it.
We were talking about Resurrection.
Exactly. Resurrection.
We were talking about Resurrection before you came on, and Seth's like, I don't think I've seen that one. And he was like, it was garbage. I was like, Seth, Busta Rhymes whipped Michael Myers' ass.
Yep.
And that's really all you need to say about that movie.
Seriously, it's just a good one to laugh at and make
really
fun
is.
of. Like,
I think one thing this movie does really well is it doesn't actually tell you how it ends, because did Dr. Dan save everybody? We have no idea. Did millions of kids around the world die? I have no idea.
I like to think
Do I care?
Yeah.
Do I care?
No,
I don't.
That is a good question though. Like, in your guys' minds, what do you guys think of it? Because I always thought literally all the kids in the world dies.
Yeah, everybody dies.
I don't know about everybody. I mean, I think some stations listened and others were just like, get this crazy ass off the line. I don't think some people were spared, but a lot more were not. And that's
I'll put it this way. Everybody south of the Mason-Dixon line probably survived.
Yeah. I just like to think it's total annihilation, like the planet is basically dead.
Yeah.
I love it when he's on the phone with them and he's like, no, I can't prove it, but you have to believe it.
Yep. But no, seriously, think about that. If you were in that situation, like, how would you? There's no way you could convince people, especially back then. It's not like you could send them a video, email, or you know what I mean. You couldn't. There's no way to prove it.
And you sound like a nut job anyway. It's like,
exactly.
This 100-year-old business tycoon who had metal shavings from Stonehenge is going to use the satellites and this TV frequency to turn everybody into liquid shit.
I know, that's probably the craziest part of this movie is the fact that they got Stonehenge rocked in.
Right, they had to throw a Stonehenge reference in there, and I love it for them.
Yeah,
they could have made it anything like a sculpture of a deity or something, but no, they went that route with it, and
like
I don't even care.
Like a Stonehenge.
I love that.
I mean, it's great.
Have you guys seen this? This is like one of my favorite things that's come out the last couple of years.
Silver
that's
Shamrock.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, it's this NECA set. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
That's
One
cool.
thing that I will say is, and speaking about the Halloween Kills trailer, they throw a heavy homage just in the trailer alone.
Dude,
The
this
Season of the
movie
Witch.
is- yeah.
Yep.
You see the masks and everything. But one thing this movie will never ever die is that damn song. I'm going to the
right.
grave with that
Yeah.
song in my head.
Yes,
Yep.
it's catchy as fuck.
Such an earworm. Totally.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not only is it an earworm, but they play it so many times. Like there's that damn
Yeah.
song again.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
get
that-
away from it.
That's why. It's not that it's an earworm. It's just how many times they pound it into your damn
Yeah,
head.
it's beaten into your psyche. It's beaten
Yep.
into your subconscious to where you cannot not hear it even after you watch the film.
They would be
You know-
wise to play that commercial just as a joke. On
I mean, you
regular
would be
cable.
walking through Blockbuster and see the box for this movie, and the song automatically starts playing in your
Yep.
head.
Yep.
Brilliant marketing.
Yep. Back to what you're saying about Halloween Kills. Like that's the thing that I really love and respect about what they're doing with these new Halloweens is the fact that they are doing an homage to all the Halloweens and they're paying them all respect. Like every
Right.
single one of them, there's an Easter egg representing it in one way or another. They're bringing back all the cast, like everybody. The only
Sure.
ones they haven't been able to get are ones that just couldn't for different, like, couldn't
There's-
time wise get, involved.
Yeah.
Now there's homage and blatant ass kissing because in Season of the Witch, somebody is actually watching Halloween on
Yeah.
TV,
Yeah.
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 which I thought is just like,
Yeah.
it's an interesting choice. I'm
Well,
not gonna lie.
that- for something that was supposed to be an anthology series, that was their Easter egg back then. That was their Easter egg for the series. That was their tie-in.
What
For
you
somebody watching the actual Halloween movies on television.
what you could have done is like kind of maybe make it the same universe, just different stories told on Halloween. Like they have the 3 masks that they're trying to sell. One kid picks up a Michael Myers mask. I don't want that shit.
That
And
would
they
have been,
got one of the pumpkin
that
masks
would have
or
been
something.
cool.
Well,
That would have been cool.
I just heard the other day, and I don't know all the details of it, but I guess when they were writing the script for Halloween 5, I think it was, they were actually going to tie Halloween 3 in with it when they were writing the original script because they had the Man in Black from the Thorn. He was
Oh God.
actually going to be
God.
seen.
Oh,
He was going to
God.
be involved with Cochrane, and there was going to be a whole tie-in there. And that was actually the whole idea of the Thorn cult, was that it was somehow involved in the same cult and everything from Halloween 3.
Talk about the Man in Black who breaks Michael Myers out of jail and you never see him again.
Ever.
Yep.
That would have actually made that to me movie more tolerable because at least they had the forethought to connect the two. But would it have made it that much better? Not really, because they still made Michael Myers,
Well, yeah, but that would have been
basically bitch.
But that was if John Carpenter was doing it. Like that was going to be his plan to tie them together. I don't know if it was Debra Hill involved in that script or what, but that was when they were getting John Carpenter to come back for it, and then I don't know what happened exactly and why they had a falling out again, but because Akkad has been involved, like he's the one that's owned the franchise, like basically
since
from,
the Akkad family.
Halloween 2, I believe.
Yeah, the Akkad family has been a staple in the Halloween franchise since the second film.
Yep. Which I love that they, as many bad choices as I feel like they've made, I still love that they still continue to like try to make the fans happy, try to keep making these movies. They don't get involved in stupid junk like the Friday the 13th franchise had,
Right.
What do you mean when Jason goes to space?
Dude,
if Michael Myers ever goes to space, I swear to Christ.
I really hope that they eventually get it sorted out with Friday the 13th, because it just doesn't feel right to not have new Friday the 13th content.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It's been
You're
10
right.
years since we got our last movie.
Yeah.
And I love, no, it's been 11, I think now.
Yeah.
No, the other one
2009, right?
Oh yeah, 2009.
Yeah.
And it was a fun film.
That's one
I
of
loved
my
it.
favorites. I love that.
I loved
it's
it.
It's one of the Friday the 13th that actually has substance to it. You know, like an actual feels like it has a beginning, middle, and end, not just a bunch of kids getting killed. Like I really enjoyed it.
New Blood, much like Dream Warriors, is still the superior film in that franchise series. That's just my opinion.
Hell yeah.
But, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Everyone has their favorite Friday the 13th. Mine personally is 6.
Yep.
Sure.
But
with Tommy Jarvis, Tommy Jarvis.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's funny that everyone has their favorite Halloween films, but none of them are
Rob Zombie movies.
None of them are Rob Zombie movies.
No,
none are part of the Thorn trilogy or H2O or, you know, any of that. It's either 1, 2, 3. Maybe Halloween 1 with Rob Zombie, not 2.
Yeah.
Not 2.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, or Rob Zombie.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's original Halloween is badass. Like,
it's not the worst.
I totally understand people being angry at it or whatever, but to me, I'm always of the belief that if you're gonna redo or whatever a franchise, you're gonna do a reboot, then make it your own, man. Make it different. Don't just simply do the same thing. And that's why I appreciate it, because it's very Rob Zombie. It's brutal and.
Can we all at least agree that Rob Zombie's second version was absolute 100% pure, unadulterated ass garbage?
Well, that wasn't even a Halloween movie.
Okay, thank you.
There's actually a lot of information out there that was literally just the movie that Rob Zombie wanted to make. Like, it really wasn't even meant to be a Halloween movie per se. Like, it was just like his own coming up with shit, not giving a shit about trying to tie it into the Halloween lore or any of that.
It showed. It showed. It definitely showed.
It's like connected in a very thin, kind of really bad way. Like, I think it would have been better if it wasn't. You know what I mean? It just didn't have anything to do with Michael Myers. I feel like it would have been a better movie.
Kind of like Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, as a standalone movie, it's awesome. Seth, go ahead.
I think that the 2018 Halloween is the first time, because I've seen the first and second one, and I might have seen H2O. I can't remember. But this is and I
remember.
I love H2O as well.
And the first Rob Zombie film, but the newer one is like the first time I ever felt that Myers was menacing.
Yeah,
it was foreboding on screen, and that's the first time I ever got that idea as a movie monster.
I
got it out of him in 2. I thought in 2 he was a fucking menace.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was in 2, and I think he was in Rob Zombies, and he was in 2018, but just for different, like kind of in different ways.
Sure.
After they brought him back, he was basically a parody of himself after a Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
And until they rebooted him twice.
Yeah. I mean, he even looks awful. You know,
well,
like the mask is atrocious, and all the movies really until you get to H2O, the mask is okay.
I was just about to say
it is, but one you can see his actual eyes. I hate that.
Yeah, I was just about to say in H2O, he was menacing, but he just looked fucking awful.
I think it was better though than because 4, 5, and 6, those masks are insanely awful.
Oh yeah, they're terrible.
The one that looks like a fucking alien.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I should never be able to see Michael Myers' eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
There's always just black holes.
Just like
because that makes him
talk.
Yeah, exactly. Because that makes him human, and he's not supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah. He's the shape.
Well, even John Carpenter said when the 18 movie came out, John Carpenter was quoted as saying, you know, we're not going to touch on any of that background bullshit. Michael Myers is just an evil fucking wind.
Yeah.
He's a force of nature.
Well, and that's part of why these Halloween movies are good again, is because John Carpenter's involved. He's not he's not necessarily, writing everything and directing and all that, but he's still involved. He's still, they're still talking to him about ideas and and
it shows.
And the soundtrack's always been a big deal in the good Halloween movies, and he's doing the soundtrack again. So
it's also a very fun little observation that every single one of Carpenter's franchises, the moment he leaves,
they go to shit.
They become shit every time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of it is John Carpenter has never been a guy who wants to do multiple of a franchise.
Right.
Like other, the only one really that he wanted to was Escape from New York. He wanted to do Escape from LA.
Yeah.
You know, but it is a very different movie in a lot of ways too. Like it's way more campy and silly and fun.
We have Snake having a weight contest.
Yeah, I mean, like, hello, like Snake's one of my favorite characters of all time.
And the fact that he's going to have absolutely nothing to do with the supposed alleged remake to continuation, I'm sorry, of Big Trouble in Little China. I refuse to watch that movie.
Yeah,
that movie doesn't need to watch it.
It doesn't.
No, well, that's the thing about John Carpenter movies. Like,
Hellraiser didn't need a sequel. I thought the first movie was great on its own. It's a nightmare on screen.
Absolutely.
I don't know,
straight
man.
up fucking nightmare.
Like totally different franchise and creator and everything, but I don't know, man. Because Hellraiser 2 is a badass movie. I think it's actually better than the first one.
I've been saying that forever.
And me and Seth will respectfully disagree because I stand behind Seth on this one. I thought 1 was a superior film. I like 2. And I love 3.
But
you also love
1 is by far the superior film.
Yeah, but even you, I don't think you're saying that it's a big step down in this.
No, it's not a huge step down. No,
so that's why I'm okay with them making more. That's all I was saying. I don't agree with that with Hellraiser.
Don't get me wrong.
Now
I love 2 and I love 3.
Yeah, after 3, Hellraiser went. Yeah,
4 was not the worst thing I've ever seen.
But you also got to keep in mind that was the era where we finally had VHS, and so movies started going straight to VHS. So all these franchises, people were throwing nickel and dimes at these franchises to make a quick buck because they could put them on VHS. So that's why a lot of those, same with Friday the 13th, like that's why a lot of those franchises went to dog shit. It wasn't,
and that's a tale as old as time in the horror genre specifically.
Which is why a lot of people, like I have a friend who has another podcast called Epic Film Guys, and me and him were just talking about this on how it's something that we're a little nervous about because of the last year with COVID and everything. We're seeing this huge uprise of digital media, of streaming services and all that. And now every movie, even Halloween now, is going straight to a streaming service. And I actually work at a theater, and watching the impact that this is having directly on theaters is insane. Like,
that's why
we have had big movies come to us, and the ones that have like Suicide Squad.
I was just about to say,
Dude,
that one got screwed.
Impacted huge, like the amount. Whereas like Shang-Chi that just came out, dude, it's killing it.
Which we'll be covering as soon as this episode's over. By the way,
they are
I actually just saw it opening day. Well, I work at a theater, so
they said repeatedly that the new Bond film will only be available in theaters. Don't try to watch it anywhere else because they've seen what happens. But we are way off base.
Oh yeah.
Hey, not really.
We've touched on many different things this evening.
It's still movies. That's the ballpark I play in.
Right.
You know what I mean? As long as it's still a movie, I'm in there.
But you're not wrong.
Season of the Witch again.
Yeah. So Ian, what are the things that you want? Because this is your episode, right? What are the things that you want to touch on?
Go
ahead, Ian.
I just wanted to know, like, because I usually do. We get the first opinions out of the way, and we went to Seth, and then we just kind of skipped the rest of us. I watched it today. I would honestly say that people really need to see this movie. If you skipped it because Michael Myers is not in it, I feel like that's very close-minded.
You're doing yourself a great disservice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think
this is a horror movie fans movie.
Yep. Just think of it as Season of the Witch.
Sure.
That's what I always tell people.
That's how it should be marketed. That's how it should be promoted.
Go see Season of the Witch.
It should be marketed and promoted as Season of the Witch, not as Halloween 3.
And even if you look at the poster, like, can you see that? It looks nothing at all like any of the Halloween movies.
And speaking of that, one of the more iconic horror movie posters you will ever see, the original traditional poster that you have right there.
Yeah.
An awesome Halloween movie poster. One of the best I've ever seen.
Yep. I gotta say though, this new Halloween Kills poster, which I actually just got today, it's up
Pretty
there.
dope. Pretty
It's
dope.
so simple. It's so simple, but it's just wicked.
Yeah. But,
I did want to touch on before we kind of wrap things up. I think this is probably one of my favorite horror villains because
he's so fun to watch.
Yeah, Cochran, he sells it, dude. He is 100%. He's menacing, he's charming, he's fun, and I think that people sleep on him, just like they do with the Collector from Demon Knight. People do not give these two credit.
That's a good call out right there. It's great because he doesn't need a mask. He doesn't need makeup. He doesn't. And this movie in general, in an era where everything was about slashers, everything, you know what I mean? This movie did it different. And that's one of the things I love so much about it. It still has, jump scares. It still has scary moments and all these things, but it's totally different. You have killer robots, things. You have this, and it just, all of that is so unique and different. And the girl, this whole time, you're thinking this is love interest. At the end, and they
she
get
got.
Yeah. Although we're trying to tell people to watch the movie and we're spoiling the shit out of it.
You still have to watch it.
Yeah, they do that before they even tune into our episodes.
It's wild.
Fucking heavy.
Oh, one thing I just thought of. Have you guys watched Malignant yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Malignant to me is 2021's version of Halloween 3. Because everybody's going to this movie expecting to see The Conjuring or Sinister and that kind of thing. And the promotions and the advertising have done this movie so wrong. Because it isn't anything like those. It is a total wild, crazy, bizarre, bonkers kind of thing that does everything different and unique. I absolutely love that movie. I wish you guys had seen it because I'd love to know what you guys think of it.
And that's a stretch because horror movies in the last 10 years specifically have all been just regurgitated bullshit in my opinion.
Yep. And that's what's so great about it, but it's also why everybody's hating on it, because people have become these fucking sheep that just go see the same regurgitated thing over and over.
Yeah. I think that found footage films, the found footage style of film is the worst thing to ever happen to horror.
I agree.
Couldn't agree more. It's just so funny that you bring up Malignant because I have HBO Max open.
Yep.
I know it's tempting, but as someone that works at a theater, I got to tell you, man, you got to see this in the theaters.
All right.
Because I actually really think you guys are going to really like it. It's like I said, I really believe it's today's version of Halloween 3 because it's as long as you go into it with the right frame of mind, not expecting your normal haunted house movie or your possession crap or anything you've ever seen from James Wan. That's the thing. People don't realize who James Wan is. They just think,
yes, I'm very familiar with James Wan.
You know what I mean, though?
This is completely outside his norm.
He does some wild stuff, dude. Like when he gets to do whatever he wants, I mean, he doesn't always just do, he's just known for these huge franchises. But even if you think back to Saw, it was so different and unique when he did that, not like anything else that was being done, and it's why it exploded. After that, it just became this machine where it was the same movie over and over. But he wasn't involved in that.
You know what else explodes? Diarrhea.
You don't like Saw? You hate Saw?
It's a franchise I wish would be struck from human history.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the original movie.
It's so sad.
That one too.
See,
I liked it. I liked it.
So I don't care for it, but
I love it for what it was.
I understand why people like it. It's not mine, but
did you see it when it first dropped though?
I watched it when it hit, not when it dropped, but when it was released on DVD, like almost
so early on. Yeah,
I was there. I was there day one in the theater when Saw dropped. Day one.
Same here.
And I was just as shocked as everybody else when Buddy rose off the center of the floor.
Yep. But you guys were also hating on found footage. And for me, it's kind of the same way I look at found footage, where I was there in the beginning, and especially with Blair Witch, and I was swept up in that whole online thing where we literally thought that these people really were dead. Like it was scary as fuck. Yeah. And it's hard to explain that to people now because they're like, what? Like
they didn't live
a different
through it.
world.
Yeah. I'm going to go on record
What's
right now.
happened with found footage now I hate.
I'm going to go on record right now as saying the best found footage movie I've ever seen was Cloverfield, and I'll leave it at that.
Chronicle.
Yep. I just got that from Horror Pack this month.
Mine was
And
Chronicle.
I was just saying that on my video the other day. Like, I love that damn movie.
Yeah, Cloverfield's a great movie.
But that's what I'm talking about. Not all found footage is awful. There are some gems. It's just been done to death now.
Yeah,
watch Chronicle.
Yeah. Back to the closing out of Season of the Witch. Final thoughts, Mr. Rebel.
I like I said, this was pretty much what I expected it to be. I wanted a good old-fashioned cheesy horror film, and I got it.
You struck gold.
I struck gold, yeah, and I had a great time watching it. I'm going to rewatch this movie.
You found a silver shamrock, but
yeah. That was a dad joke right there.
Dad joke coming in hot.
But yeah, it's so charming in what it is, and I can't say really anything bad about it other than just to kind of make fun of it. But
it's a shitload of dumb fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just dumb fun.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel super Halloween too, though? Like, that's something I've always loved about it. Is it just feels like Halloween to me. Not as much as the original Halloween, but
there's
now
definitely
I will say
vibe,
it feels like a Halloween movie in the spirit of the season, not the franchise.
That's what I meant.
It's definitely a
talking about the
Halloween
season.
movie. It's
I'm not talking about
definitely a
the
Halloween
franchise.
season movie for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's behind me on one of these posters, because these are movies that, to me, just scream the Halloween season.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
All right. Well, Kainan, thanks for coming. Maybe we'll have you back.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man.
We might have you back in October because we do horror all month long. So definitely,
that's all I do.
Definitely be ready for that, because I think we're about 2.5 weeks away from October, so there's gonna be a lot of horror to talk about then. So thanks a lot for being here.
Do you guys have your schedule set yet?
No, Jeff. We usually just do whatever Dasher tells us.
Well, Seth's pick is next week, and then my pick's the week after that, and technically the week before October starts, we're going to start Halloween because I'm picking a Halloween trilogy staple, which I will reveal. I'll go ahead and reveal it right now. Seth, you know your pick for next week, first and foremost?
Not yet.
All right. Well,
I'm still debating in my head.
All right. In 2 weeks, we're going to be covering the George A. Romero trilogy, the original Night of the Living Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead, and the original Day of the Dead.
3 of the greatest movies ever made.
I could review those movies right now. I don't even need to rewatch them
now. Yeah.
Yep. I literally just finished rewatching Day of the Dead the other day.
It's such a under the radar fucking gem.
Yep.
I'm excited.
But I was gonna say, after you're done with those, even though it's not technically attached to it, you should do Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, for sure. I've thought about that.
Because it's like movie. It's just one of the best zombie movies, but it's really fun and different.
The first two.
Than the
first
George
two for
Romero.
sure.
Yeah.
The first two for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't really count the third one.
Yeah.
I'm that way with franchises. Like, I literally just don't even. I don't watch them. I don't think about them. It's so easy
to just kick certain movies out.
Yep, and like Saw is that way for me. There's literally in my world, there's 2 Saw movies.
I'm gonna go ahead and volunteer myself and Ian, because I'm sure he would agree. Anytime you feel like having guests on your show, hit us up. We're more than happy.
Very cool.
All right, guys. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Peace.
Very cool. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Buddy.
Stop it! Stop it!
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home.